welcome back. I am Daniel of Earth, and this is the second part of my forest well painting that I'll be doing here on this channel. For this painting, I will be using titanium white, Mars black, burnt umber, hooker's green, burnt sienna, and primary yellow. For this video, I'm going to start adding a bit more detail to these foreground trees that I'm creating, and of course I need to make them a bit bigger and a bit wider than the ones behind them. I did keep making these small trees, which I don't really like all that much. I think a lot of them look kind of weird. I needed to make them a bit more spindly, which is something I just need to work on in the future. This painting actually took quite a bit longer than I expected it to, although that's probably because I did split up the recording quite a bit. Instead of doing a few layers at a time, I chose to just do 1 or 2 layers and then be done for the day, because there was a lot of waiting around to let this dry. But I'm one of those people that has to be actively working, so I couldn't just leave everything out and come back to it. Also because we have a lot of pets around my house, and I'm not confident that one of the cats wouldn't have just stepped in the paint and tracked it everywhere. Feasibly, this painting probably could have been done in maybe a 2-day span, instead of the week or so that I took on it, with all of the stopping and starting and everything. Now, as I said in the last video, some of these trees did look a little bit funny to me, and it's just something I also like with the smaller trees, something I have to work on. But a lot of these closer up trees I think I like a lot better. The shape of them looks better, and they kind of have that wobbliness that trees do have. And I sort of figured out where to put branches coming out of the main trunk of the tree that would look more natural. Now, I'm gonna also start making a bit more color variation in these trees with the leaves and the bark. I'm gonna mix some of these lighter greens in with the darker green leaves to give a bit more pop to those leaves, which would be more noticeable in these closer up trees than it would be far away. Also, when making this lighter green, I'm going to add a bit of black to it to dampen the color. It was very vibrant before that I added that black, and we didn't want the colors of those leaves to pop like that, because it would have drawn too much attention to those leaves from the viewer's eye and not enough attention to the rest of the painting. So we want to really balance out those colors to make sure they fit into the rest of the painting and one doesn't draw the eye away too much. I'm also going to start adding some more color to the grass, as well as the bulk of the trees here. And later I'm also going to add individual blades of grass that are sticking up above that base layer of grass that I have down. I'm going to use this light brown that I mixed to create some accentuation on the bark of these trees and a little bit more detail, make them feel a bit more close up. That, along with the size and the fact that they're covering up the other trees in the distance, and with the fog detail in this, helps create that depth that this painting is all about. By this point, I've started using just plain white instead of mixing any of my paint for this, for the fog section. Although I did notice that some of the fog was starting to turn a little bit green, and that's either because of just normal sort of bleed from the paint, or maybe I just didn't have everything dry enough in some parts. But that was one of the reasons that I also thought that just using a very thin amount of paint with a lot of water on a paintbrush would be much better than using the rag. Overall, I was just a lot happier with the final fog cover than I was with the previous ones. And now I'm going to use this light brown to kind of create some roundness in these trees. I'm going to put quite a bit in the middle and then slowly blend that out to the sides to try to help make the trees look a bit more like they are round and like the center is closer to us than the outer parts of the trees. But then again, I am also going to add a bit more detail back in with that lighter brown to give it a bit more texture. I'm going to do the same with these leaves. I'm going to have a varying amount of color in them. I'm going to have that darker green and that slightly lighter mid-range green as the base, and then that light green I'm going to add to the tops of the trees because I want it to look like the light came from the top above the trees and is lighting those leaves up a bit more than the others. Like I said before, I'm going to use my very thin brush. This brush probably only has about 10 or 15 bristles to make these very thin stalks of grass. I'm also going to add in a few bushes here around the end to give a bit more variety to the plant life on the ground floor of the forest. And that is going to be all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for stopping by. Remember to like and subscribe the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.